and making sure that, you have the people on your side. Given these solutions that you've mentioned, and also ensuring that everyone gets the justice that they seek, excellent service, and of course, you're talking about the fact that, with that financial support, the backing of the government, there's a lot that you can do. Do you think you've gained public trust, or what are some of the other things that you can do to ensure that happens? I really love that you've highlighted some of the things you're doing, going out to the people. I personally didn't know that there's a high court in other parts outside of Nairobi. People thought, I have to come to Nairobi, if I have to seek any sort of support for that matter. You've mentioned, regardless of social class, there is, intention to make sure that everybody gets, justice. Feels like it's in touch. Again, we started off saying there's enthusiasm around this conversation. Do you have public trust? And if not, what are some of the things that, moving forward, based on the report, that you can do to ensure that you gain that?
I believe we have public trust. I think just based on the fact that there are so many filings in court, I think this indicates and that Kenyans, citizens in general, have a lot of trust in the judiciary. But we also know that we need to do more, that there are areas of improvement, that we, in terms of our service delivery, so that then there is expeditious disposal of cases. Part of the vision is to ensure that, and it's the target that judiciary is working towards, that cases at first instance, so when a party goes to a court, whether it's a magistrate's court or a high court, that those cases should not take more than 3 years at first instance. So you go to a magistrate's court, have a dispute with a neighbor regarding a boundary, for example. That should be resolved within 3 years. That's the target we're working towards. On appeal, so that if that matter is then appealed to the high court, it should not take more than 1 year. So these are the targets. Are we complying with them 100%? No, we are not. And we know that this is an area that we need to continue to build that public trust. And we need that engagement with citizens and for them to give us their feedback. Because as a service is dispensed, and there's a whole lot of caseload and a lot of work to be done, that feedback then is helpful. And so there are channels and mechanisms through which the public can then convey their thoughts. And so every station, every court station, and there are 127 court stations across the country. So every court station, has a feedback mechanism, customer feedback mechanism. Nowadays, with email, it is so much easier, and citizens can go to the judiciary website. And there'll be emails, there'll be various offices, and they can then give that feedback. So we're trying to continually build that trust and to enhance it, and to be responsive to the needs of the citizens and ensure that we are meeting their expectations. One of the innovations of the judiciary, and of course this is together with other partners and stakeholders, is what we call the court users committees. So at every court station, there is a committee that is chaired by the judiciary, headed by the judiciary, but which involves all the court users. So if it's the other agencies, other public agencies, so Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions, the police, the prisons, and all the other agencies, including all the other agencies that are involved in court work, then meet on a monthly basis to discuss how the dispensation of justice is being undertaken within that court stations, and where there are any issues, then those are brought up. And these also includes then, state and non-state actors who then be able to speak to the level of service and the areas which can be improved. So public trust definitely is an area that we continually put effort towards. And so far the feedback has been encouraging, and we continue then to implement the improvements, or to see how to then make those improvements where that feedback has been received, then to see how then our service can continually be responsive to the needs of parties, litigants, and other stakeholders.
It's not a small undertaking, and I may be asking some quite difficult questions, but the reality is everyone is looking at the judiciary right now and just trying to understand where we are, and of course the status of this public institution. There's the involvement of technology now in many